My name's Kevin Donahue. I work for Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early's office. I was an elementary school teacher for 36 years. I retired about 6 years ago. All right. When I retired, I knew I wasn't ready to stop working, but I knew I didn't want to have to go to work every day. So I applied for a part-time job, and I was hired. I worked basically 3 6-hour days a week. When I was going through the training for, about scams, I soon learned the scam that you're learning about today might not be the one tomorrow, or it might have little tweaks to it to try to get us to fall for that particular scam. I do want to say this: if you do ever fall for a scam, or if someone attempts to trick you into a scam, there is no sense of embarrassment. I encourage you to share it, because guess what? If you talk about these scams, less people are going to fall for that same scam. The scammers hope that we're embarrassed and won't talk about it, because then they're able to hit other people, and potentially other people in your community, maybe even other family members. That's their hope, that we don't talk about it. And I want you to realize this: younger population falls for more scams than we do. The difference is scammers look at us and they say, hey, this person probably has a pension. This person probably has a 401k. This person's probably getting Social Security. They probably have a nest egg, and they're going after larger amounts of money on us. That's the difference. Okay, so we fall for larger amounts per scam than the younger population does. Welcome to 2025. Everybody mentions this one as they walk in the room. It's the Easy Pass scam. I have probably received at least 6 text messages with this one, saying that I owe $6.99, and it tells you to respond why, and then when you respond that, then they're going to send you a link to get you to click. Links are devised to get you to click, because when you click on a link, they are able to download software onto your computer called spyware, and they're able to steal information from your computer or your phone. So one thing I want to make clear is, please do not click on any links unless you are positive you know who sent you the email or who sent you the text message. Because when I started 6 years ago, the #1 way that scammers were trying to get your information was calling you on the phone. Okay? And back then I said, don't answer the phone, like I think I heard you say. Don't answer the phone unless you know who's on the phone. So if you don't recognize the number or you don't recognize the caller ID, let it go to voicemail. Listen to the voicemail after, and you can make an educated decision about whether or not you want to call that person back. And if they leave you a phone number, never call the number they leave you, even if you think it's your bank. Look up the number on your debit card, or look up the number on a statement. Get a number you know that is real. Call that number, and then you can say, hey, look, I just got an email, or I just got a text message. Is there a problem? But when you call a number that's left in a voicemail, the person's going to answer the phone by saying either the name of your bank or the name of your credit card company, because it's all part of the scam. So don't use numbers that somebody leaves in a voicemail for you. Now this one, everybody that I know pretty much has received this text here. This week, I got another one that's similar to that, but they kind of tweaked it a little. It said you have 12 hours to respond. If you do not make your payment within 12 hours, fees and all kinds of punitive damages are going to be put upon you. Why? Sense of urgency. Act now. That's what they try to do. They just want to scare us into acting now. Sometimes they'll start out as your friend. Other times it's act now. Now, if you have Easy Pass and you got this, you might think it's real. Like a woman today said to me, I don't even drive, and I got that text message. Oh, yeah. I said, you don't have to drive. You don't have to have Easy Pass. The thing is they get our information many ways. One of the big ways they get them is through data breaches, like UMass Hospital was breached, Shields MRI was breached. What do they get from breaches? Phone numbers, emails. They put them into large batches, and they'll send out emails and text messages to you. They want a certain percentage of people to respond. People who don't drive say, that's a scam. They swipe it off. But somebody who drives and maybe has Easy Pass looks at it and says, I wonder if I owe $6.99. Now, if they're wondering that, potentially they might get them to fall into this scam. Now, just this week, I was at a living facility in Worcester, and one of the women walking in was saying to a friend of hers, after we're done with this, remind me, I have to call Easy Pass because I owe them $6.99. So I looked at her, I said, after we're done with this meeting, you won't be calling Easy Pass. And then I went over this, and she's, oh, I didn't. I mean, it's been all over the news. But some people don't watch the news, so maybe they're not aware that this is a scam out there. Now, this is the big new one for, like you said, 2025. Then there's one other one that's new. It has two different forms. It's called a brushing scam. A brushing scam works this way. You get a package sent to your house. There's no return address on it. You don't know who sent it. You open it up. Maybe it's a set of earphones, maybe it's something cheap, maybe it's something in the mid being expensive. Now, a third party sends that to you, and then what they do is they write rate reviews using your name. So they get your information, they might search the web, they might get them from data breaches, they'll send you an object, and then they write rate reviews. And they'll do this to thousands of people. Why? To up their sales. So that you're writing all these reviews, future customers are seeing all these good reviews. You didn't write it. Let's say I used your information. Maybe a friend of yours sees it. Maybe a family member. Oh, Sue loved it. It must be good. They'll buy it. Now, there's another way that the brushing scam works. You get a package sent to your home. No return address. You open it up, and it says, scan this QR code to see who sent you this package. Now, it's like a mystery gift. And you're thinking, oh, I wonder who sent it. And do we all know how to scan a QR code? We take out our phone, we put it on the camera setting, we hold it up to it, it puts it in a nice box, boom, it brings it. You're thinking it's going to tell you who sent you that, but basically it's just going to bring you to a site where they're potentially downloading spyware onto your computer to be able to steal information from you. So, and these QR code scams are everywhere, all right?
I got a beautiful winter jacket and a case of wine this way.
Did it have a QR code?
Yeah, you scan it.
Okay, but, okay, now I'm gonna just, did you keep the gifts?
I drank the wine.
Okay. In Massachusetts, I was reading and it says, if something is sent to you, you can keep it. Okay, but that doesn't mean, like, let's say you get the package at the house that has my name and address. That's not what it's saying. It's saying if someone mails you a gift, it's a gift. Okay, now the first one I was telling you about, they call that one more, they refer to it as a harmless scam to the person who receives the package. Why? Potentially nothing, you're not scanning a code, you're just getting a package. But they're using your information to write a review. And potentially, I always say, look at your bank card, look at your bank account, look at your credit card. Make sure that someone actually didn't really access your account and charge you for them and then send them to you. Just always check that first.
Why do they bother sending you a gift?
You know, you sound like me. It's documenting their sales, that they're real sales. But to me, if you're a scammer, I would think just write the reviews with the people's information. That's what you're saying too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's my train of thought.
Right.
But I was reading about it, and it shows that they've actually made sales. So if you look further into the company, they're actually selling.
Okay.
But I'm with you. That's what I said right away when I read it. Why send a package out? The guy's just going to drink the wine anyways and then wear the coat later.
Right.
It didn't fit, it was a small, so it wasn't big order.
I'm just going to say, it's okay to look at a QR code if you don't click it. This is Wikipedia.org, which I thought was an excellent one to have here for one of your audience.
Taking a safe one. Taking a safe one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you don't want to click on it.
No.
That's all. You just going to be, did it open for you?
I'm not going that far.
No, I mean, did it show where, when you, because I saw you try
When
to
I came
scan.
up on it, it says
You
Wikipedia.
show, it showed.
But I also don't know if that's the name and you really have it going off to.
No,
a
that's right,
Chinese
It-
website.
potentially it could.
But it was fun to look at it and see what you.
Like, what he's saying is this, there have been parking scams, where on some meters, what they have now is a QR code, scan the code, and then you're gonna make your payment, okay? And it can show, I can make it look like it's going to the meter, whether it's Boston or Worcester, but then I redirect you to where I want you to be. Redirecting you to a site where I could potentially steal your information, put software. So it's always like, if you're gonna scan a QR code, because some restaurants have QR codes on their menus now.
You're right.
Are they safe? Well, they're as safe as they can be. Nobody's actually staring at the menu all day long. Could someone potentially put another QR code over that QR code? Potentially. Yeah.
They put skimmers on.
They put skimmers on ATMs.
Right, yeah.
We all know what a skimmer is. A skimmer, like ATMs at gas pumps or in stores, where what you put your credit card in, they'll put a little device over it and it look real, so when you put your card in, it's reading it. And then they'll have like a little camera that they might hide up above, might not be any bigger than the tip of that pen that you're holding, and they're trying to watch what your PIN number is. So now they have a replica of your card and they have a PIN. So it's like, if you use your card, it's always said, cover up with your hand, and some of them have that little flash that you can lower so nobody can see. If I stop at a gas station to get the gas for my truck, the first thing I look at is, okay, I'm looking at all the pumps, I'm looking at all the things, do they all look alike? Because sometimes they don't put them on all of them, might only be on one or two of them. And when you put it on it, I always say it looks a little bit more like a beak. It's not exactly the same because they're putting it over it. And most of the time it's put on real flimsy with like Velcro tape or something like that, where if you grab it, you can wiggle it. You'll potentially have it fall off in your hand. So if it's moving, don't use it. And wherever you can, I always just tap.
Go in the store.
You know, what's that?
I go in the store anymore.
Go in the store and just pay it there if you're not sure. That's be safer than, because anything that's outside someone potentially has had access to. I pull up to the gas pump, if I'm one of those guys with the skimmers, boom, I can put it right on. Maybe a camera's gonna see me, do I worry about it? Not really, because I'm breaking the law anyways. I've seen so many pictures of people that have gone into different banks and they're trying to pass checks, and the banks have pictures of them, they know they're getting recorded, they're doing it anyways. So they're not afraid of that.
Kevin, I have a question about the gas pump.
Yeah,
I read that if you don't see the sticker,
yeah, there's a
The blue
sticker,
sticker
or
on
if it's broken,
or if it's broken,
yeah,
that it's potentially tampered.
then, right,
So I
correct.
always look for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with everything, you just have to realize there's a potential where scammer has another sticker that they're gonna put on. Scammers know the route that everyone looks at, and they try to perfect everything perfectly. I'm gonna give you an example of myself, and this is going off from here, but then I'll get back on track on that. I got a text message from my credit card company about 2 months ago saying fraud alert. Scammers send you those too. So how do I know that's legit? Then I got a phone call, I didn't answer it, but it showed the name of my credit card company, and I know that was gonna be giving me a fraud alert, but scammers do that too. So how do I know it's legit? I took my credit card out of my wallet, I called the number on the back, I said my name, they asked me a few questions, I said, I just got a text message saying there's a fraud alert on my card, is that true? And then they said, yes. They said, did you spend $2,000 in California? I said, I wish, I'm in Worcester. So no, I did not. So then I said, so we're gonna shut that card down, correct? You're gonna give me a new card, right? And yes, and I was not responsible for the $2,000. But I'm leery of everything, because that text message, that's a scam out there that people get. And it might not have the name of your credit card. What the scammers do is they'll send you a fraud alert, but it won't say the name of a credit card, and it's to get you to bite. to call them, or to, if it's a text message, to click on a link.
Anything unsolicited.
Yep, anytime someone calls you
Go
or
to the
reaches out,
source. Always go to the source, not the.
I always say, you want to verify, you want to verify, you want to verify. I'm not clicking on a link until I've reached out to the party to find out, yes, you did send me that, yes, it's okay for me to do that. And like I said, I got the fraud alert, you know, I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's real, but I'm not acting on it until I know that it's from the real company, because there's so many of them. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine owns a paint company. Since we're being recorded, I'll call him Person X. Well, Person X got a phone call, and they spoofed the name of his bank on his caller ID. Do we all know what spoof means? Spoof means I can make any name or any number show on your caller ID. I could call you and make Worcester, Shrewsbury Senior Center numbers show on your caller ID, so you think Renee's calling you. And then I could start to speak and say, hi, my name is Joe Smo, I work for Renee. And she's having me follow up. Well, Bill got this phone, Person X got this phone call, and he answered it, and they said to him, can we speak to him? They named his name, he said, speaking. They said, we've had some problems with your account, some suspicious activity, and they started to explain a little, and then they said, before we go any further with you, we have to verify we're speaking to you, the right person. They said, please share your username with us.
Oh,
He gave them his username.
yeah.
They went on the bank site, they put in the username, and they clicked forgot password.
Yeah.
When you click that, it sends the person a two-way authentication code. The scammer said to Person X, I'm sending you a two-way authentication code. When you get it, read it back to us. He did, they put it in, they changed his password, and within a few minutes, they had $5,000 out of his bank account. Now, Bill all of a sudden is waking up to the fact that he thinks he's being scammed. He hung up the phone and he called a number he knew to be true. And he said, I just got a phone call, and they hooked him up to fraud department. He said what was happening. They said $5,000 already been removed from your account.
Get out.
He didn't authorize the removal. So the bank gave him his money back, okay, and they shut down his account. He opened up a new account. He got a new username, new password that you set yourself. The bank doesn't give us our username and password. Whenever they give you one, they always suggest that you reset it. But they're never going to ask you for it. But Bill felt comfortable. Bill felt comfortable because he saw the name of his bank.
Yeah.
So he's assumed it's real.
Oh,
And they're good at what they do. And that's what you have to realize. So Renee just said, if someone calls you, it's unsolicited. If we answer the phone, we never give any personal identifying information. As soon as they ask you for anything, click. You click. And then if you think it might have been real, you call the agency on your own. But just realize Social Security's not calling you. There's not going to be any hold. Because I'll give you an example. I met a woman about a year ago. She got a letter in the mail. Her Social Security benefits were going to cease because her Social Security number was used for money laundering, theft by deception, and drug trafficking. They gave a number for her to call. And she came up to me, she showed me the paper. Now, if you looked at the top, it looked like it was really from Social Security. Why? Anybody can cut and paste. You can take screenshots of anything and make it look perfect with today's technology. She said, would you call them if you were me? I said, no. I said, tell you what, I'll talk with you afterwards. And basically, I had to just call Social Security office, make a long story short. It was a scam. They were trying to, when we called a number that wasn't in the paper, a number that we knew to be true. And, because if she called that other number, someone would have probably said to her, you seem like a good person. I believe it wasn't you. And it's supposedly, if I get it correct, that drug trafficking and money laundering and theft by deception supposedly happened in Texas with her Social Security. But I know someone would say, you seem like a good person. However, to clear this up, we're going to have to, there's going to be a few fines and fees attached. And then they're going to be getting your money, and they're going to be getting your personal identifying information from you, information that maybe they don't already have. So anytime someone calls you, do not share any information, do not answer any questions, and any email or text message, do not click the links.
My,
All right,
my son's mother-in-law, she gets a lot of calls, but lives in New Jersey. So she calls, this is Hillsdale Police Department. That's it.
oh, the mail, yeah, but, the only thing I can tell you is this, you're better off not answering the phone, because when you answer the phone, a scammer knows they have a live number, okay? If you talk to the scammer, they have a live number, and the participant is willing to speak. There's only one more thing to happen, get you to fall for the scam. So if you don't recognize the number, you don't know who it is on caller ID, you don't answer it, and then it's more like a dead number to them. Because when they have active numbers, believe it or not, scammers sell their numbers to other scammers as well. So your number gets out there. Like one person one day, this woman asked me, why do I get so many more calls than everyone else? And my first question to her was, when your phone rings, do you answer it?
Yes.
And she looked at me and she said, I said, when your phone rings, do you answer it? She said, yes, doesn't everyone? I said, I don't, unless I know who's on the other end. And she said, oh. And that's one of the things that will increase the likelihood of you getting calls. I mean, it's not the only thing, but it will increase it if you're answering the phone call. Now, the Prussian scams, basically, they find your personal information, all right? Then they set you up online accounts, and then what they do is they send you out the packages, and then they write your fake reviews, and basically they're doing that to thousands of people. It doesn't mean they're doing it to you 1,000 times, they're doing it to thousands of people. With the one with the QR code, same thing, they just skip all the middle stuff, they're finding your personal information, they're sending you out the packages, and then what are they doing? They're hoping you scan that QR code, and then they're going to be able to steal your information. Okay, this presentation's about phishing and smishing scams, and I don't care if you really remember the terminology of phishing versus smishing, but phishing refers to emails. It's any link that you get attached in an email. Smishing refers to your text messages. It's any link that someone sends you and they're trying to get you to click. For this presentation, when I refer to it, I'm just going to say phishing, but it's phishing with the emails, it's smishing with the text. And that not the QR code, that transit where you owe $6.99, that's coming across in text messages. So that's smishing, okay? All right, now, phishing is the most common way attackers illegally access our computers. And when I say our computers, I also mean this little device here, our phones, okay? Because if you click on something on your phone, you are potentially allowing someone access to that device, the same as if you click on a link on your computer. And that's what they want. Like I said to you before, it used to be the way that they were trying to get access to everything was through the phone calls. Now, think about this. With technology, with data breaches, they can send out thousands of emails in the same batch or text messages in the same batch. And they only need a small percentage to click on them. Where look at all that personal identifying information they're stealing and potential money that they're going to have access to. And that's what it's all about with these. Phishing email might look like it came from your bank. Might look like it came from a store that you shop at. And many times it's going to tell you there was some problem with your account. Maybe your account has been compromised. And it's always going to suggest that you click on a link to update your information or click on a link to verify you are not the person who actually made a particular charge. But once you do that, they now have potential access to your device. Okay, a phishing email is designed to trick you into doing one of these things. They want you to click on an unsafe link or open an unsafe document. When you do that, they can potentially download, like I said, spyware. They want you to share your username or your password, like my friend did. I mean, how many of you would have thought if you shared your username to your bank account, that a scammer could potentially get access to your account. But if you forget your password, you go on your bank's website, you put your username in, as long as you remember that, you click forgot password, it sends you a two-way authentication code so you can change your password. And that's what the scammers did to my friend. It's just that they tricked him into saying, we're sending you one. So it's not his bank, it was they were to verify who he was. And the last one is, they wanted to share financial information or make a payment. Like if you make a payment with your check, now I have your routing number in your checking account number. If I have you share your check with payment with a credit card, I'm also going to ask you for the code at the end. So now I have all your information. So you're thinking you're making a legit payment, and maybe it was for $20. Maybe the person's going to see, can I hit it for $2,000? You know, I mean, sure, if it's with your credit card, you should get the money back. If you authorize a $20 payment and someone gets $2,000 out of your checking account, your bank should work with you to get that money back. But if you authorize a $2,000 charge from your bank account and it's a scam, your bank very well might say to you, you authorized that charge. There's a difference between if someone accesses your funds without you helping. But if you share information, it's a potential with different banks. And I'm just going to say the different banks are different, but I did a presentation with a guy who's the fraud expert at a particular bank, and he said, I worked at 3 different banks within the last few years, and each bank has been different because they look for consumer negligence. Were you negligent? Because let's face it, there's so many scams out there. The banks can't keep giving everyone like, what if you go into the bank and you take the money out and you hand it to the person? Is the bank responsible for that? No, we withdrew our money. We took our funds out. It's the same thing as if I took my money out of the bank and I lost it on my way home. Banks aren't responsible because I lost it. So, you know, there's different banks. Some banks work very well. I'm not going to say that no bank would work with you, but I am going to say that if you authorize a charge, the bank doesn't necessarily have to give that money back, even if you were scammed. They'll want to know about it and they'll try to work with you, but it doesn't always come out to the route that you would like it to come out. Okay, cyber attackers fish for a lot of different reasons. They want your money. They want your personal identifying information. If I can get your personal identifying information, I can use it for identity theft, which means I can take out credit cards using your information. I can buy a new car using your information. I can get utilities turned on in an apartment using your information. Now, no one can do that to you if you have your credit frozen. And it's very easy to freeze your credit and the information's right in the white bags. I have my information frozen. I have a son who's 32. He has his information frozen. Frozen just means no one can open any new line of credit until there's either a thaw put on it or you lift the freeze. And only you can do that. Now, I just bought a new car maybe 2 months ago, and I forgot to lift my freeze. So I was in, I applied for my loan, and then the gentleman came out and he said, Mr. Dunn, unfortunately, we're unable to give you this loan at this time. And then he had a smile on his face, and he said, because your credit is frozen. And I said, give me 5 minutes and I will unfreeze it. And then he went back and ran, and then I was approved. But I was glad because then it's telling me it works, that the freeze works. Okay? You can put a fraud alert. I like the freeze. The freeze is nothing can be open. No information is going to be pulled.
Are you one credit bureau or all 3?
You have to call all 3 to do it.
Okay.
If you put a fraud alert on your information, basically all you have to do is call one of the 3. And when he says all 3 or 1, it's Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, and they're all on the pamphlets that are in the booklet. But if you put a freeze, you have to call each individual one. I found it easier to go on the website and do it. And the website information's right in it as well. If you call to do it, I would say do it early in the morning. Because unfortunately, everybody and their brother seems to be on the phone in the afternoon or, mid-morning, and then you're on these long holds, which, you know, unless you want to sit on the phone, I don't like that. And so even when I was at the car dealership, I went online to each one of them and, like I said, took less than 5 minutes. I put a thaw though. So if you put a thaw, then it goes back on it for you where you don't have to redo it all again. And it was, my thaw was for 24 hours.
I had frozen our accounts years ago for an issue, and they charged us for that. Has that changed now? Is
Now,
there?
who charged you?
One of them does. You know what, one of the credit.
Because I have not been charged.
This was our social security.
And I believe it's free if you Google it, because someone else told me, oh, I'm afraid to do it because they're gonna charge me after a year. I said, as far as I knew, it was free.
I think maybe what happened, it's gotten so rampant now that I think they encourage you to freeze it.
Yeah, they do it, like, even credit reports, like,
Right.
it's used to be you could get a free credit report from one of each agency once a year,
Right.
okay? So you could get one from, like, say, Equifax, then 4 months later, you could get, Experian. 4 months later, you could take one from TransUnion, and you could look at it. Now, I don't know why they're still the way they are, but because of COVID, they started making them, you could get them every week, and I believe you still can, but who needs a credit report every week? Nobody, nobody, you know? I will say this, sometimes when people are trying to freeze their credit, they put into a Google search, freeze my credit, and they end up not with the big three, and they end up with this other party who actually does charge, they're charging them money, and I'm not even sure that the credit actually even gets frozen.
Right.
So you want to deal with the three that are in it, and if you call them, ask them if there's a charge. Because as far as I'm aware, there is not. Anybody here have their credit frozen? Have you ever paid for it?
No, and only Experian, and it still stopped things with other places.
Yeah.
I will do the other two.
Yeah, I've never
Yep.
paid.
I
I've
just
had.
wondered if every time you freeze
And
it,
actually,
unfreeze
I'm
it.
gonna say this, when I froze my credit, I didn't put any payment information in, so I don't know how they would ever charge me, they'd have to send me a bill.
Scam you.
They'd have to send me a bill. So as far as I know, there is no charge and I haven't
That's
paid
good
anything.
enough, yeah.
He hasn't paid, I've had mine over a year and I haven't had to make
Yeah.
a payment. Okay, I'm gonna move along. They want your network access. Now, if I'm at home on my own personal computer, all they're gaining access to is my computer. But that's big to me because I go on my banking, credit cards, so they can potentially get into my account information. If I click a link when I'm at the DA's office, they could potentially get into the server. Now, the server means, like, let's say we all work for the DA. All of our emails, all of our correspondence are all in the same place. Now they could potentially get into all that. I'm not clicking any links unless I have verified and I know who it's from, because I don't want to be the guy that opens up Pandora's box, so to speak, for the district attorney's office, and just realize they can put ransomware on a system where they can shut you down. It's happened to government agencies where they'll be shut down until they pay. And then you're gonna wonder, what have they looked at while they were in there? And have they stolen any of your information? And the last one is they want your social media account information. I'll give you an example. What's your first name?
Brad.
Brad. I hack into Brad's Facebook account, okay? Maybe I'm gonna change his password, get him out of it. Now, I put, I'm gonna make a post on Facebook. I'm falling on hard times, I'm in the hospital. I could appreciate any donations that anyone could make. Now, who's gonna see that? Family, friends. Now, if you really have family or friend, maybe you'd call it. However, the idea is to see if people will make some type of donations. And there's other things that are out there. For example, I could make a post and I could say, look who died, and there's a link attached to it. Now, I made it, and I made it on Brad's page, so it's not Brad who's died, but if Brad, it's on his page, then he's posted it. If you're a family or a friend, you might think, who does Brad know that died? It says, look who died, and then there's a link. Why is there a link? I want you to click it. Because when you click it, potentially we can get into your system. That's what it's all about today. It's links, links, links. It used to be all just bombarded with the phone calls, and I'm not saying, like I said, phone calls don't exist, but it's the links where they're really getting information quickly. Now, phishing messages are designed to get you basically to react quickly without thinking. That's what they want. They create a sense of urgency. You have to pay it now. Or they're going to tell you that you won something. You won the foreign lottery. I'm going to give you an example, offers of money. I'm going to give you an example of this. Within the last month and a half, I've probably run into about 7 people who have been contacted that they've won Publishers Clearinghouse. Okay? Now, out of the 7, I know of one person who went along with the scam. They told this gentleman that he won $5,000 a month for the rest of his life, he won an F-150 truck, and he won a sports car. And they told him minimum fees in taxes associated with it, $700. And they told him to buy $700 worth of Target gift cards.
Oh, please.
Okay, now, he went out and bought the cards, he told his wife. His wife looked at him basically and said, honey, you gotta be in it to win it, and we're not in it. He wasn't listening to her. She called her son who's married, he came over to the house, sat the father down, Googled how different scams work, showed the father, look, this is how they work. Look, gift cards. They're gonna ask you to read the codes. He's going through the whole thing with them. The father understood, the son took the gift card, said, I'm just gonna hold on to them for a little bit. A few days later, the son comes back and gives him the card, says, hey, Dad, when you need to buy things, these are your cards. Use these to make your purchases. Lo and behold, doesn't he get a phone call that night? This is your last chance to claim your prize. Sense of urgency. If you don't do it now, we're going to draw a new winner. He read the codes off the back of the card. It happens.
No.
I mean, this is the reality. And this gentleman has money to live, but you know what he was thinking? $5,000 a month for the rest of my life? Look how much easier it's going to make my life. I already have a pension, I already have my Social Security, I have, some funds saved, but I'm going to get $5,000 more a month? $5,000 more a month, who wouldn't take it?
What happens when they find out who does this?
Okay, some of them do get caught, and I'm not gonna lie to you there. Some of them do get caught. Like I always say, if you ever fall for any of these particular scams, you always call your local police and report it, okay? You want to file a report. Even if they tell you you don't need to file a report, just ask, can I file a report? And then, like if it's a scam like that, I always say contact the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Why them? Because if enough people file complaints with them, and they pursue it, and they find the people who are responsible for it, when they are brought to justice, if there's any restitution, you'll get some money going your way. But if you're a person who, you don't want to let anybody know, and so you don't share it, you don't file a claim, well then the loss is a loss. And I'm not saying you're going to get your money back anyways, because many times the reality is we don't. Okay, we just have to, move on and try to make sure that we safeguard our funds better. What's the first step? Freezing your credit. What's your other steps? Any credit cards you have, always making sure your passwords are all different to all your accounts. Maybe using two-way authentication codes. When you go to log on your computer, it's going to send you another code, and then you're going to put the code in before you can get on your computer. Maybe your facial recognition for an easy one, or your thumbprint. Things that you have that nobody else has. But unfortunately, I'm going to say this. Scammers count on people our age use the same password for many things. And if I hack into one of your accounts, the likelihood I'm going to get into others is great. And that's the reality. They know that we're the old generation. When a computer came out, I remember we wrote a username, password, we stuck it on the computer. So when we came to work the next day, there it was, and boom, we logged in, we're all set. If someone did that at the DA's office today, even though it's being recorded, you'd probably be fired. Because you can't be letting other people access a device. And that's the reality. I mean, scammers use technology to their advantage. This here, confirmation, package pending confirmation, who here has not ever received either a UPS or FedEx, you name it, you have a package pending delivery. Please click the link to update delivery. That scam skyrocketed during COVID, and it's still active today. Why did it skyrocket during COVID? Because everyone started shopping online. Even people our age who never did it before. Because it made it easy to get packages. So scammers know there are millions of packages going across the United States every day. So if I'm sending you an email or a text message, you have a package pending delivery, but there's a problem when you deliver it. Please update your information. Click that link. You may very well do it. Because you're thinking, maybe that's that pure pants I bought. Or maybe that's the groceries I just ordered last night. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I buy things online. I find it so much easier. I bought these shoes online, and I bought 5 of these pair of pants online because I know they fit me, and I don't need to go to a store. And I can just click on it. I can click the colors. I click my waist size and length, and boom, it arrives the next day. None of that wasted time going to a store. I bought it from a store, but I didn't have to go to it. And that's for actually the shirt too, because I bought these from Brooks. I bought 5 of them about 2 weeks ago from Brooks. You just click on the link. You know what fits? I don't have to go to the store. Now, do I go to stores? Sure. Because nothing beats, like, I know my wife likes going in and trying things on and seeing how they look. However, with the way things work today, if you don't like it, you send it right back anyways. Most of them don't charge. Now, so that's the confirmation. This IT support, that's tech support. Let me be honest, I almost fell for a scam. Jeez, I'm gonna, probably like 20, 25 years ago, I think I was maybe right around 40. I had my computer, I was working at home at night, and I thought the computer was dragging. In other words, not working the way it normally worked. Then lo and behold, I got a pop-up on my computer, and it said, Microsoft's monitoring your computer. Please call this number. I said, no wonder why it's not working right. So then I called the number. And then when you get the person on the line, they're going to answer the phone saying, Microsoft, hey, tech support, how may we help you? And then basically they're going to give you a web address to go to where they can get remote access to your computer. Now, this was when you had plug-in computers. And I'm giving information, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, is this a scam? And I ripped out all the plugs out of the wall, I shut the thing down, I brought it to school the next day, and I gave it to the tech support guy. Who has always done work for me. I said, Mike, I don't know if I get, any viruses or anything on this. Can you check it? I'll pay you whatever I owe you. He brought it back the next day. He said, I cleaned up a lot of junk in your computer. You don't have any viruses, but you might have ended up with some if you went any further with that phone call. Now, those phone calls work that way, where they get you to go to remote access, and then they have control of your computer. Many times they'll trick you into saying that they've removed your viruses. Maybe they'll say you owe $99, and then you pay that. Now, this scam happened about a month ago. The gentleman paid the $99. At the end, after he paid the money, the scammer said, oh, wait a minute. The scammers they've accessed your bank account. What I'm suggesting you do is remove your funds from your bank. And they opened him up what you call a Bitcoin account. They told him to take his money from his bank and put it into this other account. He did it.
Thanks.
His wife was on vacation. She came home a couple days later with the daughter. He told her what happened. His wife actually works for banking industry. She said, you didn't do it, did you? He said, yeah, why? He said, that's a scam. They went to that other account. The money's gone. Is your bank responsible for that? No, you took that money out and put it over there. Now realize this. If you ever get a phone call and the bank is ever suggesting you remove your money, no bank will ever do that. And there's a lot of scams out there like this. No bank will ever tell you to remove your money. They're going to shut down your account and they'll open you up a new one in that bank. But they're never going to suggest that you move your money out of the bank.
Thank you. I have to leave.
Oh, thank you. And then the last one on this, rewards. We all get the rewards. I get, like you say, Ace Hardware. You want a 107 socket set. Click the link below. It's not from Ace. But why use Ace? Because it's a big hardware chain, and maybe I'll believe that it's real. It could be Kohl's, it could be Staples, it could be any company saying that you qualify for a prize. Click on the link below. It's all the links. Everything I'm telling you about today revolves around a link trying to get you to click. This one came out at Christmas. I put it in just because if you get a message about an unexpected package delivery, don't click on the link. Now, what happens if you get a phishing email or a submission text and you're ready? Nothing. As long as, like this gentleman said a little while ago, you haven't clicked on the link. So just delete it, so no possibility that by accident you'll click on the link. Nothing happens if you haven't clicked on the link. Like people are always saying you can't read the email. You can read it, but why read it if you don't even know who it's from? This is how I start my morning. Delete, delete, okay, I'll read that later, delete, delete, and then, oh, I only have 5 emails to read. But I had 50 of them in my inbox. I like feeling like I already made some progress, and then I go back to, what do I have to do today?
We have a computer.
Yeah,
We don't use it.
yeah.
That's it. You with that?
No, you don't use it.
We don't use it.
Well, so then you don't have to worry about the emails or anything coming in.
She's not gonna like what I said, but it's a fact.
Well, do you use the computer? No.
We gave up on it.
Okay, do you?
Yeah, and fully.
But let me ask you this, do you use your phone?
Yes.
Do you take text messages on your
No,
phone?
I don't want to take this.
Oh, okay, then you guys,
There's my phone right there.
I believe you. You can't get emails or text messages on your phone?
What's that?
All right, you're good.
He's
You're
safe.
you're not gonna fall, you're safe. You will not fall for any of these scams.
Can you get text messages on this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes, you can.
I would assume that, can't every phone get a text
Yes.
message?
Yeah.
But I don't know this. I've been on a Apple phone forever now, so I don't even know how you
Don't
look
set
at
them
it.
up now, you're gonna
Like,
miss.
that's-
You got a cracked lens on it. Don't encourage it.
Don't encourage him,
I don't know. Hey, he's the tech guy, so at the end of this, he can show you where you text. But do you have children?
Yeah.
Do they ever, they don't ever text you, they just call you?
They can't do it.
Your children can't text, or they say your phone can't?
No.
I thought you always got texts on every phone now. Maybe you don't, maybe you have to pay for
I
that.
think, honestly, cost me.
You might have like like a base plan where
Right,
text message.
Right, and you're,
Th-
wow.
It's not a bad thing for you, because you're saying you don't want to use it anyways.
I don't know how to use it.
Oh, so you want to be able to use it?
No.
Okay, okay, that was the question.
I think that's
Okay.
another class.
What's that?
You were talking about the thing they do on your Easy Pass. I was talking with someone the other day, because I talked to everybody,
Yeah,
and she unfortunately paid at credit.
okay,
All of her credit cards were pumped.
okay, that's what I was just gonna say.
All of them.
If you ever realize you've been scammed, the first thing you wanna do is contact that company. And you wanna let them know, if it was a credit card, you wanna let them know. And then you wanna let every other institution you have any monies with, that you have been scammed, and there's a potential fraud on all those other accounts. You always wanna let everyone know. It's always better to be safe than sorry. You reach out to everyone. It's not just a credit card many times, it could be many things. Like I told you, I had a credit card fraud 2 months ago. I reached out to, I only have one credit card, so I didn't have to call any credit cards other than that one. I called my bank, I always let everybody know that I've had fraud. But if, let's say I had the same username and password on my credit card as I have on my bank account, what I said earlier makes life easy for those scammers, because now potentially if they know what my bank is, they're trying that username and password, they're trying to gain access. So that's why I was saying, and there are password managers you can use. My password manager is a little blue book, and I throw it in my drawer, and when I need it, I take it out. I mean, because I can't remember passwords and usernames for everything.
But when
Now-
you need to access it.
What's that? It's easy access for me.
Well, my password manager is on my PC in a Word document.
Yep.
And no one can get into my PC because I have a VPN.
You have what?
A VPN.
Yeah, so you're safe. Okay, now, what are links? I'm telling you not to click on any links. What's a link? If you get a notice saying you have a package been delivered, it says confirm your shipping details, click on the link. This dialog box right here, it says continue, that's the link they want you to click on. If you get this one, looks like it came from Netflix. Now, why would a scammer use Netflix? Netflix is the #1 streaming service out there. Many people have moved away from cable, and what they use are streaming services such as Netflix. So if you have Netflix and it says your Netflix subscription has expired, but if you renew today, we're going to give you 90 days free. Click here, renew here. That's the link. And what did they do to make it really look like Netflix? They just used red and black. And it looks like, hey, that's legit. That's from Netflix. No, it's just color choices. Now, this one, I got this one, and there was a download box, and it said, take this quick survey and get a $50 gift card. Click on the gift card to continue. So the gift card in this one was actually a link. And now I'm going to move on to some links that are normal links we might see. I got this one last year in November. And it basically said there's a new Amazon regulation. They were asking all people who take part in Amazon to update their information. Okay? And it gave you 24 hours to do it. If you don't do it within 24 hours, your account will be permanently closed. Sense of urgency. I don't have Amazon. Okay, so I know it's not legit. But that doesn't matter. There are some people who do. Remember what I said, scammers aren't counting on 100% of people clicking. They're looking for a certain percentage of people to click on a link. Now, if you look at it, like this is the link here. Now, that link kind of looks a little weird to me. Like it says depshine.unicornplatform.page/ and that's how it came through. Now, if I ever got something like this, I would reach out to Amazon if I thought it was real. And they also gave me an Amazon ID number because, let's face it, badge numbers make it more official. So if I was speaking to you on the phone and I was saying I was with Social Security Department or any other government agency, maybe I'm going to give you my badge number. And you're going to write that down. You're probably going to ask me, could you repeat that? And I'll repeat it again to you. And you're feeling a little safe because someone's giving you a badge. That badge number is nothing. Okay? It's just, if Renee said it earlier when she walked in, if someone reaches out to you, basically out of the blue, you do not want to respond. It's a scam.
Well, on emails, the first thing you look at, I don't know if you said that, Kevin, is the email address. The email address.
Well, you can hover over it. I am going to say this, though. Scammers are getting pretty good at, it might not be their exact email address, but it could be similar
Yeah.
that you're looking at. Now here, it's basically saying your account has been temporarily suspended. Click here to review your account now. That's the link. And then I believe this is the last one right here. Yeah, trusted bank. Now that says trusted bank. Put the name of your bank there. If your bank is Santana, put Santana. If your bank's Bank of America, put that in there. And it's going to say Santana Bank. And then when you come down here, this looks legit, but if it's a real bank, we'll have an S because it's going to be secure. Okay? But if you're just looking, well, it's got the name of my bank. Oh, it looks legit. Oh, $135 was taken out of my account in another country. I'm clicking that link. I didn't do that. It's trying to get you to act quickly. That's what they're all trying to do. Do you ever get an email like that and you think it's potentially legit? You call your bank yourself. Now, if you actually go through any of these, you're going to find spelling and grammatical errors. Because like even as the first one we have received, R-A-C-I-E, no, it's E-I. I forget where it was, somebody was sitting in the audience, they found 13 different things, and I only had seen like 10 or something, and the person just kept looking, he was a retired English teacher, he was looking all over the place, he was finding things left and right. They don't have someone who edits, there's no edit department looking through all of these emails, they just get sent out. So you just want to safeguard yourself, that's all. So it's like verify, verify, verify. If you get something that has a link, do not click on it. And you know, if someone ever reaches out to you and you're not sure, is this real? Well, Renee's here at the Senior Center. You can reach out to Renee. If you need another pair of ears to run it by her. If you think you're being potentially scammed, call the Shrewsbury Police and say, hey, look, I just got this phone call. Is this real? And you can explain it to them. And they very well might say, you know, that's an active scam going on in the community right now. But if you're not sure, you're always better off running it by another set of ears, so to speak. Because, you know, like someone who lives on their own, they get something and they think, oh, is that real? And they don't have anyone else that they run things by. potentially might fall for it a little quicker. So it's always best, like, reach out to Renee. Like during open enrollment for the Medicaid, you have shine here that someone comes from representative, reach out to them. Don't accept those phone calls, emails, and text messages because they're all scams and they're all just trying to confuse you and they're all telling you they're going to give you the best plan in the world. But their method is to either get your money or you get your personal identifying information.
And their goal is to give you a sense of urgency so you're not thinking. So you're not thinking and you're like, oh my God, then you can try.
Let's face it, we missed it if we haven't acted yet, right? Open enrollment.
The other thing you didn't mention is your social security number. No one can ask you.
Okay, I'm
for
going to
that.
tell you this. I just went to my orthopedic office
I know,
on,
that's what I'm asking
on
for.
Friday.
And I
One
never
of the
fill that
questions
in.
on the paper is social security number.
Never
My
fill it.
answer is
No.
go straight. I don't know. They might think that's my
I
number.
put illegal
I
to
put-
ask.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just put a straight line, and I look at it this way.
Yeah, they don't have.
What do they need to know? They need to know your insurance information and they need to know your personal information as regards to your different health plans. That's all.
But
They don't
not
need,
your social
no, they
security.
don't need it. And I have never given it. Okay?
don't.
But with that said, every now and then it'll pop up on one of my reports and they have my last four and I never gave any of it. Realize this, all our information's all on there.
Yeah, but why make it easy?
Okay, don't make it easy. But I'm gonna just tell, I'll give you one last scenario, then I'm gonna stop because we're already past 4. I spoke about the data breaches. I'm gonna give you an example how they might use it. What's your first name?
Ben.
Ben? Okay, let's say Ben goes to UMass and UMass has been breached. I got some of Ben's information. I see who his doctor was, I see why he was there. I have his phone, I have his address, I have his phone number. I call, I say, can I speak with Ben, please? Ben answers the phone, he said, speaking. I say, hi Ben, this is Bill Smith with Dr. Johnson's office at UMass Hospital. So I'm sharing his doctor's name, and I'm saying UMass Hospital. How's your day going? And he says, good. I see that you were in to see the doctor, Ben, on November 15th, 2024, because your back was bothering you, and the doctor prescribed you ibuprofen. How's your back today? He's all much better. I'm glad to hear it. So Ben, you discontinued taking your Motrin? He says, yeah. And I said, perfect. While I have you on the phone, I want to update some of your information, Ben. I have the spelling of your last name as. I'm going to read it to him. I have your phone number as. I know his number. I just called him on it. Maybe I'll share his email because I get that from the breach. And then I'm going to say, I have the last 4 of your social security numbers being 2357. Is that correct? Now, people start to feel comfortable because you shared information about them. He says, yes, that's correct. I said, can you verify your full social security number for me? Now, I make you feel comfortable, and then I try to extract something else. It might not be your full social security number. It could be something else. Maybe it's going to be your Medicare card number. I'm trying to get something I don't have, but I'm using the information what I have to extract more from you. Social engineering, use what we have, get some more. So you got to be careful. If Ben didn't answer the phone because he didn't know who was calling, or he doesn't answer any questions because he's not the one who reached out to the doctor's office, then he's safe. But if he starts to believe it's real and he starts answering, potentially you're sharing information with someone who's not really who they're saying they are. Remember, anyone can be anyone on the other end of the phone. When you were a kid, you might have made a crank phone call to someone. And when you did that, you were pretending to be someone else. Well, scammers are better than what you ever were as a kid. And this is their job.
It's their full-time job.
This is it. Like if I went around this room and said, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? You all have real jobs. Ask the scammer what he does for work. Scams you. That's his job.